And it's always a delight knowing you're there. The program is Agriculture in Focus, where advancing food security and agribusiness remains our mainstay. My name is Alpha Jackton. On today's episode of the program, we will be looking at the federal government's drive towards mechanization. Recently, the Minister of Agriculture came out to say government has a work plan that will soon be revealed to Nigerians. That will form the thrust of our Vox Pop and our interview segment. Thereafter, I'll hand you over to Abigail Sto, as always, for some news that you can use. Timmy Simpson will bring you Common Sense Agriculture. The program, as always, will come to a close with trending fields. Trust me, all you need to do is sit back, relax, because the next 25 minutes will be worth your while.
If they introduce the mechanized farming plan, let the peasant farmers benefit from it. Let it not be hijacked by the powerful in the society, because the peasant farmers are the majority of the food producers. But because they are using traditional implements and they do not get the desired result. But if it is introduced and they are also involved, it is going to help.
The idea of mechanization, it will help us so that we go get food, job go dey, insecurity no go plenty, my market sef go dey move.
Government should ensure that the right people are targeted. Farmers in the rural areas, farmers even in the urban areas. Once that is done, they could now venture into mechanized farming. It will be a very good plan, so to speak, all right? But how do they go about it? Which is what we are talking about here. Youth should also be targeted. It is said that an idle hand, is the devil's workshop. I dare say that this program, if eventually rolled out, will go a long way in stemming the tide.
It's always a delight to have you join us on the interview segment of Agriculture in Focus. Lest you forget, Agriculture in Focus is a production of Part Agro Media. We are revisiting agri-mechanization for no reason other than the fact that the current administration has put it as one of its mainstays as far as food security in Nigeria is concerned. We will be talking to an expert today who is not only a farmer, an entrepreneur, but a trained engineer. So, Engineer Olugbami, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of our interview segment.
Thank you very much.
The current administration, through its Minister of Agriculture and Food Security the other day, came out to tell Nigerians that very soon the government will show its Marshall Plan as far as agri-mechanization in Nigeria is concerned. What comes to mind when you hear those kind of pronouncements?
Such pronouncements are supposed to bring hope to farmers and all Nigerians. But if we go by past experiences, we will take it with a pinch of the salt and say, let us wait and see what they will come out with. And that's my attitude to it for now. Let's wait and see.
As it were, the current administration seems to be giving agriculture a very prominent place as far as its policy is concerned and what have you and what have not. I want you to tell me what your inner thoughts are.
First of all, I think that they have a very, very good plan. But plan without action will make no difference to Nigerians. Their pronouncements have been good so far. The aim is good so far to provide food for the poor and the big masses of Nigeria. But like I said before, we'll wait and see what actions they will take behind it.
Looking at where we are today, research has shown that the West African sub-region, as far as the teledensity of tractors like this are concerned, Nigeria has the very least. Ghana and even smaller countries have more tractors per hectare. Why are we where we are?
If you compare the number of tractors that are in Nigeria to the number of tractors that are in all other West African countries, the tractors in Nigeria are still more. But because you are talking about density, it's tractor per unit area. You get it? And if you are talking about tractor per unit area, it's relatively small. But even then, by my knowledge, I know that we still have a lot of tractors in Nigeria. What is our problem really is keeping those tractors in working condition over a period of time. So that if there are new machines that are coming in, they will come in to meet a set of machines that are there, and therefore we can grow in tractor density. What we have on the ground is that we destroy all our machines and tractors to the barest minimum before we start to put another one. And that is a problem that has to be solved. It is a maintenance problem and a maintenance culture that Nigeria does not have.
But how can you possibly go into such a large venture? Because I know you are secretary of the
Agric Equipment Hiring Operators
What do you guys
Association.
do in this association?
We own our tractors. And we came together as an advocacy group to be able to stand and challenge governmental interventions. Unfortunately, we have not been successful in carrying the government along in our vision. Ordinarily, what should have happened is that government should have looked to associations like ours for policy guidance and decision.
So that is why we're here today, because another policy is about to be rolled out. We'll want to find out from you, who is the secretary of this association, to see if you can give government certain tips as how best this revolution can be achieved.
Would government take this platform seriously enough to be able to cause a change in their policies?
I believe they are listening.
The thing is that there are other associations like ours, like TOFAN and other associations that are having groups of tractors. What they do not have is ready-made land available or farming program available in which those tractors can fit into. They don't have that. In our engagement with government, we were promised that even from the beginning of our association with the tractors, but it did not come to see the light of the day, and it's one of the reasons why that program itself failed. So, what would government do? Government would put everything it has in place to be able to be owners of the land that they will want, so that they can now allocate those lands to people who will be able to make the land bring profit.
I need to get clearance from you. Are you telling me that being a tractor owner does not readily translate to making profit? And that is why tractors break down, and when they break down, it appears that's the end of their lifespan.
Being a tractor owner does not translate to making profit.
Is it because you don't have a farm of your own, or is it because our farms are largely smallholder? We don't have farms of commercial sizes. Just try and help us understand this issue.
All of the above. The farm doesn't necessarily have to be that of the mechanization service provider, because what we are doing is providing mechanization service to farmers. Now, as a person, I may have a farm, I may not have a farm, but the service that I provide, is there a space available for that service to be given? Now, that is where I think there is government intervention, because the land ownership system in Nigeria is per family generally. It is not large. Government needs to intervene to make all those land come together as one, and then they can put a tractor. I want to tell you something.
Before you do that, just hold your thoughts there as we take a short break. The program will continue in a short while. The program is Agriculture in Focus.
The world is talking about regenerative agriculture.
Activity alone can be a great source of revenue.
So welcome back. We have been looking at issues around agri-mechanization, services, structurization, and what have you, as we continue with our guest in the person of Mr. Abiodun Olugbami. Sir, you were about making a very salient point before I stopped you. The floor is yours.
Yes, I was saying that the government should intervene in collating large parcels of land together and then be able to make it tractorizable for the farmers. Two, I was going to cite an example that I have a tractor. I don't have to be the farmer, but every single tractor for it to be profitable needs 300 hectares of land in one season.
Are we saying that from what you have just said, government probably should hold on?
If government is trying to create food security in Nigeria, they can't hold on for anything. All they need to do is to do everything pari passu. They need to continue and adjust as they go on in places where they need to put adjustment. In the speech of the president to Nigerians, he said federal government will acquire land, which is what I am advocating. He said they will acquire land even through the states, but let it be clean acquisition so that the federal government or the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, which is the agent of the federal government on this, would be able to have control. And then let those land, either by states or by others, be parceled out in such a way that a specific tractor will be able to have a job to be done. You know, like I said, every tractor needs 300 hectares within one season for it to be profitable of single operation, 150 hectares of double operation. And most of the time in Nigeria, we do only those two operations to farm with.
Even with the move to inculcate all-season farming in Nigeria, won't that help balance the equation?
All-season farming cannot be done everywhere in Nigeria. It can only be done where there is a continuous or perennial flow of water throughout the year. Now, what that means is that they will have to have all the banks of the rivers that they know that are perennial and step them out. All-season farming can be used to enhance mechanization. In fact, if I have my way, I will use it as a merit profit for the successful mechanization provider during the rainy season. Because really, the farm land that you can use for dry season farming is less than 1/3 of the land that you will use during rainy season.
I still want to find out from you, should government go ahead with the implementation of its plan? Why? Because I have also met persons like you who are of the opinion that we're not there yet.
My response to this is that Nigeria needs food. Anything that you will do to add more food to what we have now is all right. So government should go ahead and try to put more food. The only thing they need to do is to look at all the past failures and decide within themselves, this present administration, that they will not fail.
Share your thoughts with me. Would you rather have these tractors domiciled with government, or should there be some kind of private partnership, or should it wholly be given to individual farmers, cooperatives, and what have you?
What has been going on successfully is public-private partnership. Public-private, not in the sense of ownership of tractors, but in the sense of building a complete agricultural system. Now, government is enabled to provide land. The tractors, which is a private sector unit, will come into the land. That's the kind of relationship that will work. Everybody making sure that its own side is done correctly.
In your earlier remarks, you made mention of the fact that maintenance, it's really in the deficit as far as these tractors are concerned. Share your thoughts with me. How can we overcome this obstacle?
We don't have a Nigerian brand tractor.
Why don't we have one? 63 years after independence.
No, that's number. What is important is whether we are serious enough and able to have it. About ability, we have the ability to have it.
Can we start talking about that? You're an engineer.
Yes, the government has even invested in it. There is a place in Ilorin, Kwara State, Incam, where they design and produce a lot of mechanized activity.
That's interesting.
But they have not lifted it up to the level for which that organization can be useful on everyday basis to the average person on the road. And that's the kind of thing that we are advocating, that any step that government has taken, government should stand firm on it and build it up to the stage where it is going to be useful to people.
In what you have just said, where is the place of the private sector?
Let the tractors be available. Let the machines be available. The private sector will raise money to buy those machines as long as those machines will be useful and it will be profitable. If other machines too are available, once you have large land, processors will stay at the edge of those large farms, micro processors, and you have machines for processing. Those people too would be able to benefit, and you can see the multiplier effect as it goes up.
As it were, there's a lot to discuss, but we're out of time and we just have to keep it here. Mr. Abiodun, engineer rather, Abiodun Olugbami, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. I'll now hand you over to Abigail Stowe for some news that you can use.
Thank you and welcome to the new segment of Agriculture in Focus. I am Abigail Stone. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has conversed for stronger collaboration with the Nigerian Agro-Input Dealers Association to uphold set standards for quality and quantity of agricultural products. The new permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Temitope Peter Fashedemi, has assumed office with a pledge to drive the federal government's agenda in the agriculture sector, just as the new acting Comptroller General of the Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, Dr. Godwin Sunday Audu, has vowed to ease the hurdles of exporting Nigeria's agro products. Over 40,000 households across 80 rural communities in Taraba State have benefited from the ProSell, Produce and Sell project of the European Union, implemented by Oxfam to bolster food security and improve livelihoods of communities. And now to the global scene. Shaba Pride, a Kenyan agri-tech company, is set to transform rural African agriculture with a $3.7 million funding by empowering last-mile agro dealers and connecting them with smallholders farmers to boost both business sustainability and food security in sub-Saharan Africa. No fewer than 61 ministers for agriculture from across the globe converge in Berlin for the 16th Global Forum for Food and Agriculture, hosted by the German Federal Ministry for Food and Agriculture, where they undertook to support agricultural practices and technologies that strengthen sustainable food production. This has been the news on the news segment of Agriculture in Focus. Thank you for staying with us. There's lots more coming your way, and I am Abigail Stone.
Abigail Stowe, as always, thanks for a job well done. It's about time I hand you over to Timmy Simpson for Common Sense Agriculture.
Welcome to Common Sense Agriculture, our low-hanging insights into farming and agribusiness. My name is Timmy Simpson. Good agricultural practices is a set of standards for the safe and sustainable production of crops and livestock. It aims to help farm owners maximize yields and optimize farming operations, while also minimizing production costs and environmental impacts. Agricultural practices are essential principles that should be applied to agricultural fields or processes in order to attain better agricultural products. These are simply farming methods that are used to facilitate agriculture. Agricultural practices influence many important functions and processes of the ecosystem in a variety of ways. They transform matured ecosystems into managed state ecosystems to develop better land and soil texture for agricultural processes. Agricultural practices include landscape management, soil or land preparation, sowing, manure application, irrigation, weeding, integrated pest management, integration of livestock and crops, harvesting and crop storage. When properly performed, good agricultural practices help farm operators to stay on top of daily job tasks and have confidence in the integrity of their operations. The common sense here is for farmers to follow good agricultural practices, either in the cultivation of plants or in the rearing of livestock for optimal outputs. Until we come your way again, be guided by this low-hanging insight into farming and agribusiness. My name is Timmy Simpson.
Timmy Simpson, as always, thanks for your words of wisdom. It's about time we invite Balogun Anthony for Trending Fields.
You're welcome to Trending Fields here on Agriculture in Focus. Now, in this segment, we will be highlighting agricultural topics trending all across the internet. My name is Balogun Anthony, and thank you for joining us. Now, for our first trend for today, John Deere is teaming up with SpaceX to bring cutting-edge satellite communications to the fields, enabling tractors to have their own cosmic connection thanks to SpaceX's Starlink network. Now, tractors and combiners aren't just machines, they're becoming part of a tech-savvy farming orchestra. The SATCOM solution is connecting everything through satellite internet. Now, imagine tractors working with real-time data, remote diagnostics, and machines talking to each other like a futuristic farm language. It's not just about farming, it's a symphony of smart agriculture. Now, this isn't just some distant future dream. John Deere's Vice President of Production and Precision Agriculture Production Systems, Aaron Wetzel, says this tech marvel is hitting fields in the first half of 2024 in United States and Brazil. Now, with Starlink network, John Deere customers are gearing up to embrace sustainable farming, providing not just for their communities, but for the whole hungry planet. Now, for our next trend for today, a groundbreaking development in agricultural technology has emerged from the laboratories of Linköping University in Sweden. Scientists have unveiled an electrically conductive soil engineered to foster exceptional growth in crops, particularly barley seeds, marking a potential 50% surge in growth within a mere 15-day period. Now, Eleni Staverindu, the brainiac behind this agricultural feat, says they ditched the old school mineral wool for e-soil, a genius blend of cellulose and a conductor called pedot. It's like a fancy sustainable suit for seeds. Now, it doesn't just talk the talk, it walks the walk by using way less energy. Now, no more high voltage scares, just a jolt of growth excitement. And now for our last trend for today, in a surprising turn of events, the undisputed king of Fuji music, Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, aka K1 the Ultimate, is not just hitting high notes in the music world, but also breaking ground in guinea fowl farming. Now, K1 is taking his talents beyond the stage and into the farm fields, investing millions in guinea fowl farming. K1 has spread his farming kingdom across Ilorin, Kwara State, Ibadan, Oyo, Abeokuta, and his Ijebu land in Ogun State, turning hectares of land into a funky fowl haven. Now, K1 is on a mission to bring some federal relief to Nigerians by crashing the market price of guinea fowl and to make guinea fowl a household name. His media aide emphasized that the Meogun of Yoruba land is determined to make guinea fowl meat affordable to all, no matter the current market trends. And that's all for today here on Trending Fields on Agriculture in Focus. If you'd like to be part of the program, send us your comments, your suggestions, and your insights. You can follow us on all social media platforms. The handle is @patagro_media. My name is Balogun Anthony. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.
Balogun Anthony, thank you so much for marrying the world of the social media and agriculture. This is where this episode will come to an end, but all you need to do is join us same time, same station next week for yet another interesting episode of the program, Agriculture in Focus. My name is Alpha Jackden. This program is open to sponsorship. Thanks for watching.